So we're just going to Sittingbourne, and I'm going to go and see a good friend of mine who's been brought up in the fighting game. He's an English traveller, so he's done boxing, and so we want to go and ask him some questions. You know, does the arena of professional boxing, does it work? Is it helping the youngsters today, you know, like step into the ring and train on a professional level, you know, learn discipline? Or does it not work? Does it make them, you know, become more violent and more proud, go out there and end up killing somebody or being killed or fighting, doing violence on the street? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go and have a little conversation with my pal, and that is in Sittingbourne. That's where he lives. He's coming on here. And he's got his big dog. Albert!
Yes, my John.
Hey, hey! How we doing, sir?
Good. Good, my John.
So this is a very good friend of mine, Albert. He's going to have a little chat with us. He's an English traveller, been brought up in the fighting community of travellers. He's been about, and he loves his boxing. So we're going to talk a little bit today on, you know, the discipline side of it, and how boxing is helpful, especially for the youngsters today on the streets, attacking each other, nearly killing each other. You know, so we want to try to speak volumes and see, look, boxing's the way. You can do it in a way, yeah, where you ain't got to go jail, where you ain't got to kill anyone, and you can shake somebody's hands afterwards. You can have fair play and shake their hand. So yeah, all right, Albert, go on then. So tell us a little bit. Tell us a little bit about you before we get started.
Well, obviously, as you know, I'm a gypsy in the culture of the travellers. This is my little place, my little log cabin. In our halfway building a little place over the back end of the yard here, look. Got my punch bags hanging up and bits and pieces, but they're covered up because it's winter time.
Yeah, it's good. I like it. I like it. So go on. What's your story then? Tell us a little bit about you growing up and.
Well, start right from the beginning. I was in care when I was younger, over the Isle of Sheppey, and that's where I started my boxing, my discipline. And a non-travelling man got me into fighting, into boxing. He see I was a bit wild and a bit ruggedy, and he said to me, "You got to do something with yourself." And it started off me saying, "I don't know what to do," just getting in trouble now and again, running off as kids do. Going to chore this from that and doing this and that and getting in trouble, learning my don'ts and what I can do.
Good.
Anyway, he took me to a boxing club. I walked in. There was a man called Sean Baker, a very nice man. It was the treadmill over the Isle of Sheppey next to the train station. And when I went in, it just felt right. I'd never even laced a glove up for this time. And the man said to me, "Can you fight, Albert?" I went, "Yeah, I can fight." Because as a travelling boy growing up, you just think you can fight anyway, even though you can't. But then I walked in, but I think that's what I knew I was gifted at anyway. Headstrong with a good heart. Anyway, I walked in the club and the man said to me, "Can you fight?" I said, "Yeah, I can fight." He went, "All right, one sec." Pointed to a boy, put a pair of gloves on me. I jumped in the boxing ring. I got beat to death within like 30 seconds. I was done. I jumped out. He went, "I thought you said you can fight." I said, "Well, I can." He said, "Well, I'll learn you how to fight with discipline." The key of it all was discipline.
That's good.
I never had it. I was just wild. Obviously, as a kid, you can be non-disciplined as an adult as well. It don't matter. You can get it back. It just comes with time.
Love that.
But so then that's how I started my boxing, and I carried on right through all my life. And I done white collar. I regret not turning over pro, but I done white semi-pro fighter. I had heaps and heaps of unlicensed fights. I had loads of boxing, amateur fights, few amateur fights, and enjoyed every bit of it because the more I progressed through my boxing, it moulded my life. I started going to school better. This is when I was younger. School better. I started interacting with people better. I had better friendship created all around that one sport of boxing. So I feel like as a kid, you need to find what works for you. It could be cage fighting. It might not even be fighting. It could be drawing. It could be something so peaceful that you like. It could be anything of that sort that will help your brain think calmly instead of waking up and seeing problems all the time. Do something you enjoy and it'll mould your life throughout. And that's what basically boxing done for me, fighting. But it's a gentleman's sport, proper sport, and done correctly in the right people. There's a lot of people out there in the travelling community right now. You got Tyson Fury, he's the biggest name. The reason why I can be proud of this man for in the travelling community is because of his achievements, not just fighting, of him using his brain, which a lot of people don't think that us travellers has got, but we have. But we just live a bit of a secret of life away from things. I'm on camera, but a lot of us are camera shy. We wouldn't do what I'm doing right now. But I feel like it can help others, and with this day and age, way technology has progressed, I feel like we never had that years ago to pronounce and say what we feel. But I can do that now on camera, where all you ever heard was, oh, that gypsy's gone and done that, that gypsy's done that, that family of children are dirty or whatever. But it's far from the truth, because we've got people now, travellers and non-travellers, living in houses, struggling, got no money, don't know where to turn. There's all sorts. So from the very beginning, like a seed grows a plant, you need to get good foundations and just start to build something. And you still make the wrong turn as you get older. You still can do things wrong. But I feel it all comes together when you find out who you are and what you can do for yourself. I find it pleasurable helping others and doing things for other people. Can't explain that, but if someone needs help, I can do something for someone, and I go there and I help them and I do the best I can do for that person. I'll get more from that than just I'll get more from that than I do if I go and earn a bit of money, because I feel like you are what you put out in the world.
It's good.
I'm a family man, and I enjoy fighting, like I said. And boxing made me the man I am today.
Oh, I love that, Albert. Really good. All right, tell us a little bit more about you as well, like outside the boxing, you know, like growing up. Just give us a little bit of insight about, you know, Albert. Who's Albert?
Oh, I don't even know where to start with that one, John. But anyway, yeah, so for me, who I am, like I say, a lot of things mould everyone in life, and everyone's got their own whatever's happened to them. Everyone's had something bad in their life half mould them to who they are, but that don't control me as an adult. So who I've turned into now is I'm very happy in my life. Whether I've got £5 or I've got 5,000, 50,000, it don't matter to me, because I class everyone as exactly the same, equal. And I feel like who I am now, what I am now is I'm very humble. That's who I am right now. I'm humble. And I'm a very good judge of character with people. I can see, I don't even have to talk to someone. Maybe it's the gypsy in me, the what we're born with in our blood. Everyone's born with a skill, a destiny, a something special that they're gifted at doing. And I feel like judging people is my gift. And like I say, I enjoy fighting. I enjoy helping others. I enjoy being a good dad. Just a normal, humble man. But it could have been very terribly wrong for me at the beginning. I've lost cousins to drugs, family members. I've had friends die along the way. I've had family members do life in prison for doing bad things. I've had everything around me the whole time, but the decisions I made took me away from them pathways. Boxing, that was boxing. Yeah. I wouldn't have been sitting here today if I never had boxing. I'd probably been dead or doing life in prison. And that's the God's honest truth about it.
So he said he's a family man. How many children you got?
6.
He's got 6 children.
I've got 6 children, yeah. I've got 4 girls and 2 boys.
Yeah.
So that's what drives me to go to work. That's what drives me to go and get a living, to give to my children. Because to give them what I never had. To do things for them what I couldn't do. Just come back from an holiday. I worked hard all year this year to pay for a Christmas holiday. For them to go away 1 week, to enjoy themselves, to do what I never done as a kid. And that's what makes me want to go and do more for others as well. And this is what I'm doing this for, because you can get something out of someone else's life. You can, if you sit down and watch someone and how they are as a person, I feel you can learn from that and maybe take a role model on and do something for someone else. Think, oh yeah, I like that person.
Yeah.
Look what they're doing. They've made that happen out of thin air.
Yeah.
It's fated.
Yeah.
You have what you're meant to have in life.
It's good. One thing I've recognised with you, Albert, over the years, just watching, you know, in the background, when like there's trouble coming your way, or something happens on the streets, you've always like set the fight, like to resolve the problem. You said, right, come on, let's meet up and let's have a toe to toe. And then walk away, shake your hands, walk away after, best man wins. You've always been that man. You've never been that person like you're seeing today on the streets where people are being violent, they're pulling knives out or shooters. You know, your first thing that you've always went to is, right, let's settle like a man and then go forward. Is that a true statement or not?
Yeah, very true. John, do you know something? You know, anyone, same thing again. Been there, seen it all. Everything's happened around me in life. Do you know, a man that pulls a gun out or a knife out is a coward. They've been very troubled when they're younger. They probably had a lot of bad things happen to them, and they live with a chip on their shoulder. They may be in a gang, think they have to prove themselves to them others. Well, them others ain't ever going to be in their life when they get older. They're the ones sitting behind a jail cell door, or missing their families or their children, whatever age they are. One mistake. That's what it takes, just one, just to try and make yourself think you're not. Because all these people that do go out and shoot someone and stab someone, they've got the wrong outlook on their own lives that make them go to prison for a very long time. And it's just for half of them, if they get away with it, they'll walk up the road and go, oh mate, do you see what I've done there? Do you see what I've done there? Let's see how good that was. Just to have someone speak nicely about them for that, because it's nice to them. They've done something bad, so someone can praise them for it. Because of the lives they've led. If they just stop for 2 minutes and try and do something a bit better, go to work. That's the best thing for a man to go and do, is go to work. Work, when you get a good day's pay in your hand, honest day's living, it makes you feel 10 times better than that. But it's getting from that to that.
What's the difference between street fighting and boxing?
Discipline. With the boxing, you've been trained to help others train as well. When you're sparring in the gym, you're bringing someone on. It's all done in the correct manner. You've got gloves on. You've got a trainer there looking over you. You've got others looking at you. You're training, plus doing your body really good as well. Mentally, physically, everything. It moulds your discipline, lifestyle all the way through. Yeah. Street fighting. Some of these people can't even fight, and they're in a gang, and then someone knives or whatever. Anything can happen in a street fight, and it don't always end there either. You know, it can cause parents to argue. It can cause morphing conflict with families throughout generations. So there's a big difference between boxing and street fighting.
Yeah. Right. So does it keep violence off the street, boxing?
Oh, 100 billion%. What people don't understand is about all fighters, MMA fighters, karate men, whoever, whatever form of fighting you enjoy doing, wrestling, whatever, is the reason why us type of people like things like that for, is because we don't actually want to hurt people. That sounds silly. We want to protect people. We're trained protectors. We're protectors. We like protecting people. 9 times out of 10, you'd never really see a proper gym man be out fighting for nothing. We are protectors. But then you get someone who goes out as a fight up the high street, not trained, not disciplined, street fight, and it gives everyone a bad name. Get tarred with the same brush.
Yeah. How can we get them into the gym and off the streets?
Gym and keeping fit is really good and positive, and it do mould life. But I think they need to set their goals. People who are struggling need to set their goals and do what they, as an individual person, likes to do. If gym works for them, go to gym. Motivating yourself is the most important thing, because that's part of a discipline. Motivation. You've got to motivate. You've got to drive yourself to want to go and do these things. And when whatever you work, like I said, it could be drawing, it could be making something, you could be a designer, you can make yourself a millionaire from it. You can become something so famous. You can do whatever you want to do. But I'd say the key words there is motivation and discipline, and set yourself a nice future for goals.
Yeah, I love that. Are the youngsters today, are they interested in professional boxing?
There's so much interest in all fighting sports from youngsters, girls and boys. It's finding it.
Yeah.
It's finding it. It's just giving it to a child to say, look, why don't you try that? Do you like that? If you want to do that, you can do that.
Yeah.
If not, that's that all.
Yeah.
With families whose parents are parted up, the children in the middle, as long as parents do the right thing for the children, it ain't about them no more. As long as they do the right thing either side of the children, they can move on in their lives and be happy, but the children will be included. As long as your kids are included, that helps the children's mindset. They ain't got one home no more, they've got two. Think of your little children's future, because what you're doing right now, you've had your future, you made that to where you're going, you're doing what you're doing. You need to focus on the kids and give them the responsibility of getting in the gym, going to an art club, socialising. There's not enough centres anymore for children. You don't see them no more hardly. You don't see kids centre. When I was younger, Quinton had a little hall, didn't it?
A little while, I remember that.
It's been knocked down now, like most places has, because I don't know, government funds or whatever. But there used to be like a little youth club in there. They had a boxing club in there. They had a little disco in there. But the children can go and meet up, and we had a place to go. Like that's what it used to be.
Yeah,
And when I was really little and I lived on the site in Sittingbourne Church Marshes way all through there used to be a little school bus coming on the weekends and used to give you Play-Doh or let you draw a picture. You don't get none of that no more. That's all gone.
Is that needed, do you reckon, today? Or
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, there's little things they used to do right, and for some reason, with all the technology and the more we got now, it's been cut. This government we're behind now needs to look at the children because they're the future.
Yeah.
They need to give them centres again. They need to re-pump the money the right way into society to build a better future.
I love that.
For everyone.
It's powerful. So would you say that a trainer's job, you know, on a professional level in a gym can restore discipline back to these youngsters?
It worked for me. I'm the living proof of it. As a man, I faced discrimination in my life. I've had a little bit of discrimination. It works. It 100% works because as a trainer, they're like a father figure. They say your do's and don'ts, and you get pally with them. You have a laugh and joke with them. It ain't just about training. They look at your life. I mean, my boxing trainer, when I went into the gym, he had a big business around the corner. He used to have me on concrete machines with a gun in my hand, literally gunning out the concrete to big tall cranes and give me a little bit of money and all, because he wanted to help me. He wanted to do things for me. So yeah, they're definitely very nice people.
So if you lose something in life, how do you go on from that?
In my experience in life, not just in fighting, in experience in life, if you're down and you've got to pick yourself up and you've got to dust yourself off and move forward, it's that positive mindset and that discipline that I was talking about earlier. I just last year, purely fated, I went over to the bare knuckle fighting, no gloves, and a mate of mine, Tony Lafferty, his name is, he put my name across. I've done a bit of training with him in Dover, went in the gym, purely fated. At this point, I never even had a spar. I didn't spar. I've always trained in and out all my life, but I didn't even spar no one. There was a lot happening in my life. I was moving here and there, and I didn't know where I was coming and going. I had this big fight announced for me, and it was another bloke called Sandy Robb. And anyway, he pulled out on me 2 weeks before the fight. I prepared myself on a punch bag and going jogging. But what happened with me was, another bloke got stood in. My mate Jim rang me up. He said, there's a bloke one of the standing, but he's really good help. He's ranked number 2 in Croatia. He's had 3 world titles, WBO. He's Now he's champion. He's done Olympics and everything. I went, yeah, no problem. I didn't even look him up. I like, who does that? You know what I mean? I think it's only a travelling man to do that. We don't care. We'll have a fight. You know what I mean? But anyway, I thought, well, it's no different. It's still going to be the same. It's a fight's a fight. He cuts like me. Anyway, I got in there, and the point I'm making in this fight is that, to my opinion, I beat him round 1, round 2. Come out round, my eye got closed. Come out round 3. I took my first loss as a man. As my first loss. And what I learned from that was, he knocked me down. I got straight back up. It didn't knock me out. I was up. The cornerman threw the tailwind on damage. But I learned a lot from that loss. Probably more than I would if I won. I may have got a bit cocky and, I'll challenge that one, whatever. But I took a lot from the loss. When I got beat, I remember coming home the next morning, I had a black eye out here, fat lip there, swollen up there. Funny enough, my hands didn't hurt. I landed them enough, but it didn't hurt. But I thought, well, I've only got beat now. What am I going to do? This is when my discipline kicked in. Well, Albert, this is what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do as a man. Look after your family. Get yourself a bit better. Get yourself back to work, and get back in that gym and start training. Well, this year coming up now, I'm going to have as many fights as I can. I'm 37-year-old. I'm going to have as many fights as I can. And that's what it's led me to. It's led me to pick myself up and be more motivated and prepare myself better for my next fight. It's a foolish thing I done on my last fight, not do no sparring, but I still done myself proud. So preparation is key, but discipline after you lose something, or something's been taken away from you, or something bad in life's happened to you, or whatever, just pick yourself up, dust yourself off and say, you know what? I'm a strong man or I'm a strong woman, and I'm going to make a better day tomorrow. It's about pushing forward to the light of the future for everyone else and yourself.
So we got George, who's the governor of this place, this boxing place, and George, what benefits, would you say about boxing? Coming into the ring and learning discipline.
I think that boxing gives you a focus for some of you to think about all the time. I think there's so many people that, especially youngsters, that whatever they're doing, they're lost. And when they come into a boxing gym and they've got people to look up to, and especially when they're doing something that makes them nervous all the time, it grows them as a person. It kind of like teaches you to kind of be a man at a young age. With other sports, or even in schools and stuff like that, where you don't really find no discipline, in a boxing gym, if you mess about, then you leave. You get chucked out. So you don't really get many chances in a boxing club. So you have to learn to listen. You have to learn to respect people. If you've got no respect, and then you didn't realise if you don't respect people in life, you just don't get anywhere anyway. So I think it just teaches you a lot from a young age, growing through, and I think it just sets a good foundation for your life going ahead, to be fair. And also, when you go week in, week out, having a tough spar, it just toughens you up as a person. It toughens up your mind, and I think it just makes you deal with life better for you to go on and do what you got to do. Would you say boxing trainers, if you're like a father figure to youngsters growing up, maybe haven't got a father and there's been complications? I think you see a lot of that. You see a lot of world champions say as well, when they walked into a gym and they didn't have a father, and then a coach really took to them, and then that's the reason that they are where they are now. So I think it's definitely something where kids always will warm to someone, and people end up being national champions and things like that, and grow up to be world champions down to probably one person that showed them the right path. And then when they got a little bit older and they started, say, messing about, or they started to fall off, that person would bring them back on track. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's just, boxing helps lives, 1,000,000%.
I'd say from the age of 14 to 18-year-old, if you're struggling with bad times, positive mindset, set yourself really good goals. be humble, be nice as you can to people. We all go through struggles. Just set your goals, set your targets, and I promise you, things go really well in life.